Video, we're going to go over the AI closer, and I'm going to go over a smart selling framework and understand that this process of selling your AI solution is very, very simple, and you want to make sure that you keep it simple. So this framework is not about pushing a hard sell, but instead to guide the business owner into realizing the value of AI voice assistant, leveraging their own data. And I'll explain what that means. So we're going to quantify missed opportunities, show revenue impact, and let the AI prove itself. So the goal here is to get the business owner thinking about their hidden revenue loss that they may not even be aware of. A big part of marketing is just bringing awareness to things. So as an example, this could be on your Zoom meeting or whatever online platform you use. I know a lot of consultants don't always do the face-to-face. So, let's assume from this standpoint that someone is, on their computer on an online meeting, but this also could work as you are face-to-face. Hey, Name, quick question. How many calls does your business receive in a day? And you kind of want to get the conversation started. As we go through this also, I want you to assume, I know that's a strong word, we are never to assume, but assume that there's been some sort of communication. They may have seen your AI number. Maybe they've called it, maybe they haven't. But based on how you've reached out and prospected, they're at least familiar as to why they are here, okay? So once you've already set the stage, so to speak, and setting the stage is letting them know how this meeting will go and how it will be constructed and what the outcome and the goal is. So as an example, you could say, hey, business owner, the purpose of today is to show you or demonstrate and to discover how an AI assistant or an AI receptionist, whatever you want to call it, how an AI receptionist can help you in your business to always answer 100% of the calls so you can insert desire, so you can book more jobs, so you can book more appointments, so you can, answer every call and take advantage of every sales opportunity. So really quick, what would you say, how many calls does your business receive in a day? And some of the responses may be, I'm not sure. So a response doesn't have to be verbatim. It seems most business owners don't track this. You'd be surprised how much revenue is lost every day from missed calls. If you have a way to turn these into whatever their core desire is of that niche, more booked appointments, more new jobs, would that be valuable? You just listen. And then another response may be, well, we get a lot, but we handle it, or something to that degree. And you just want to say, great, well, let me ask you, how many of those missed calls actually get called back? What percentage would you say? Most customers don't leave voicemails anymore. What if you had an AI that followed up instantly and covered and converted those lost calls into paying customers? And this is also something that you can position as, just being real from a standpoint, meaning I would imagine there's calls that probably go unanswered or you don't call every call back, right? And just a little humanism, just to relate. Maybe response is not many. That's great. Let me ask you, are you currently using a system to capture and follow up with those leads automatically? An AI-powered voice assistant helps businesses like yours maximize every customer inquiry 24/7. And as a data hook, most businesses are shocked when they see how much money is through the cracks. So let's just kind of run some numbers. So this is part of what I consider the smart selling. And this is what we're going to get into and understand that this is a good framework to follow. But again, this doesn't have to be verbatim, but just understand the structure as to how the sales call is conducted. So the goal is to quantify their lost revenue so they see the immediate impact of AI voice or voice AI, however you want to call it. So ask them, how many total calls you get per day? If they don't know, just give me a guess. And how many of those are missed, meaning you're not able to answer the phone? And they'll give you a number. And what's your average transaction value per customer? Right? They may have a lot of different pricing, but on average, If you were to look at your higher price, your mid price, your low, what's your average? And they'll give you a number. So in this calculation, you would say, well, this is just an example, but you would leverage their numbers. And as a reference point, there is an ROI calculator that you can install, and it's in the bonus section of this training. So look at that in the bonus section. But with this example, just follow me here. So you get 50 calls per day. Okay, you said you miss 10 calls daily. You said an average customer spends $200. So when you look at this business owner, and of course you'll call them by their name, that's $2,000 a week that's potentially lost in revenue and $8,000 a month. Are you aware of that? And you want to use ROI calculator, and based on your numbers, that's nearly $8,000 in potential lost revenue per month. AI can capture those leads instantly and turn them into paying customers. Another key line is, wouldn't it make sense to put a system in place to make sure every caller gets answered and converted into revenue? And to take a moment on this section here, this is very, very important, because I know you may be thinking, well, that is assuming that every missed call will result into a sale. And we all know that's never going to be 100% true. But what you want to point out is potential opportunity that is missed, right? Allow them to actually take the shot and answer the call and explore that potentiality of generating a sale. And that's what you want to speak to, is the missed potential of opportunity. So the AI hook, let it AI sell itself. So this is a point where you can stop talking and demonstrate. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. So I'm going to go over how you can actually demonstrate through your AI number, but also what may make sense in the call flow is by showing them a video that explains the AI. So instead of explaining as an example, you can show them the AI. So rather than let me send you a quick demo. Just imagine if this AI was closing deals for you while you focus on running your business. So they say yes. You basically send your AI number, which is a demo. You can let them know, here's how this is going to work. This is assuming that they have not had this call. They haven't gone through the AI demo with your AI number. And you just let them know that, hey, this number that you're going to call, this will give you kind of a role-playing simulation as to how an AI can assist you in your business. Now, this leverages the AI number, which is the, your AI sales machine that self-sells the system. Now, dependent on how granular you want to provide this demo, another effective way that you can provide this in itself is dependent on the niche. Like, you can create a customized AI that mimics the actual niche that you're talking to and how it would interact and the AI would operate in their business. So what I mean by that is, let's just assume that you're talking to someone in the moving niche. You can just create a simple AI voice agent for the moving niche so that the business owner can be the actual potential customer and call in and go through the actual process. It just further details and makes it more real. But just as a default, you can leverage your AI number that goes through the role-playing demonstration. It shows proof of concept. But if you wanted to go deeper, you can. So watch their reaction, let them experience the AI assistant. You can use the explainer video that shows how it works in the resources section, and then you can reinforce the value. Imagine if this was handling your calls and converting leads 24/7. And you just want to handle any responses or objections. Objections are never bad. Objections are a good thing because it shows that they're at least plugged in and they're interested. And it's a matter of just getting over those objections. So if they loved it, you say something like, you can see how powerful this is, right? Imagine never missing another call and having an AI book appointments and follow on autopilot. we can get this set up for you and customized in just a couple of days. And if you don't love it, we'll just turn it off. No risk. Want to give it a shot? That's your close. Easy. Scenario two, if they're unsure, I get it, but let me ask, if this AI could generate just one extra customer per week, would it be worth testing out? So you kind of want to do a soft close with a trial offer. How about we just set this up for a 7-day test? You'll see the impact before committing. How's that sound? You want to get one, right? And I mentioned in a previous module that even if you get a client on terms of free, leverage free with purpose, right? So if you were to set this up as a free trial or a free term, then the agreement is for them to provide you feedback in the form of like a testimonial, in addition to referring at least one business to you per month. Otherwise, the fee for that, which is the value of you providing this, is whatever you charge monthly. So business owner, all I ask is for testimonial and feedback. If we were to set this up for you for free, and we'll have an assessment period, maybe after 14 days, a week, a month, whatever that period you assign is. And I ask that since the value of my service is $9.97 a month, you just refer one business my way. How does that sound? So that's one way you can leverage free. And if they say no, then it's like, hey, no problem. AI is growing fast and a lot of businesses are getting left behind. If you start seeing missed calls or slow follow-ups, just let me know, we can help. So kind of as an exit strategy, ask if it's okay to add them to what you call your VIP list. We just provide educational information and insight for local business owners. And then you just send occasional case studies, success stories to kind of re-engage them later. And as feedback, just ask them, just curious, for what reason, I like using that language pattern. For what reason are you deciding not to move forward? Or was there anything about, the AI that, you have concerns about? And just get feedback, because something that you may hear is that, it doesn't sound real, and it takes the humanness out of it. And some business owners think from a standpoint of they don't want to replace the human aspect, and it devalues their business. And you just want to reframe that thought and say, hey, if you already have a receptionist, that is great. You can look at this as your receptionist assistant that can ensure that nothing is left through the cracks. And depending on the type of business, this AI can be powerful from a standpoint of being the employee that gathers all the important information. And then your receptionist can be leveraged to simply follow up and make calls on all of this gathered info. And when you think about the information that an agent can gather from, let's call it name, email, phone number, what they need assistance with, their unique challenges, any custom information that's to be gathered, that might be at least 5 to 8 minutes on the phone that can now be saved because an AI agent can provide that. And you can even let customers know, like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I am ABC Movers digital assistant, and I'm here to just gather some preliminary information so I can best help you and route you to the proper people. So there's ways to position this so it doesn't, come off as, insensitive or not human-like, that will make a business feel good about that. So some pricing questions, how much does it cost? Respond with confidence. Well, it depends on the level of automation that you need. Let me just break it down for you. So charge a setup fee always, because you're going to have to customize this bot, this agent, and then you definitely want a recurring fee. The reason why there's a range here is because if I just kind of show you here, med spas, for instance, if you look on this chart, maybe $497 and $997, whereas real estate may be more, whereas auto repair, kind of same range. But the setup fee, you can establish that for you based on who you're helping, the niche you're helping. And that's usually like the degree of customization. But where you really want to focus on is your monthly, because that's what's going to be coming in ongoing. And you oftentimes see a range because a good pricing framework is looking at the average value per customer in a niche. As an example, a pool customer, someone who wants a pool installed, that customer value is maybe $50,000, right? A roofer may be worth $10,000 to $20,000 or more to a business. Whereas a restaurant, an average customer transaction may be $50 to $100, significantly cheaper. So these just kind of give you good ranges. But what's also very impactful is the fact that you started with smart selling and you're able to convey the impact of a missed call and potential lost revenue that acts as a price anchor, right? Because now you can reference back to that and say, hey, it seems that you're losing right now a potential of $8,000 a month. So let's go ahead and get this set up for you. And it's just $697 a month. It's just $997 a month. And we'll just give it on a trial basis. So 8,000 versus 1,000. And you can kind of see how you don't get the price shock because you leverage the smart selling model. All right. So suggested packages, I'll provide this doc in the comments and the description area so you can reference this. But essentially, these are just pricing tiers. You want to simplify it as much as possible. But some of the things that you just want to know is, in addition to the customizing the voice prompt, there's things such as custom fields that you'll need to modify and create to capture certain unique information. There's call handling that needs to happen based on certain call prompts or outcomes. There may be appointment booking to send an appointment link. There might be instant SMS follow-up, the CRM integration to trigger workflows. So dependent on the level of detail and customization is where those packages come into, and allows you to really itemize that out as well. And again, simple is always better. You charge a setup fee because the voice AI must be set up for the business. As the AI continues to run, you will find opportunities to fine tune the AI and make improvements. So next steps is just use the framework to quantify lost revenue, position the AI as a solution, run the ROI calculation to show them why they need this now, let AI do the selling, get them on a demo call, overcome objections with smart positioning and a no-risk offer. If they don't buy today, automate follow-up with SMS. Remember, the goal isn't to convince them, is to show them their own numbers and let the AI prove the value. You got this. Happy selling.